Hello everyone, this is first class of ethics. Here we are going to discuss just the ethics syllabus because what is the most important things in any of the UPSC is that people do not know what they have to read. It's very important that we concentrate on the syllabus. We have to learn what's the syllabus demand and then only we can move forward with our preparations. So we will move step by step, but only in the direction of the syllabus that is given by the UPSC. That is most important things. What is more important is to limit the content, find valuable items that you can write in your answers, as well as then move with something very different. You have to do hard work, but a little of smart work. So let's begin today's session with the thing that what's ethics syllabus demand from you, because this is a paper. If you can command 100 marks easily in this, then it will be a very good thing. And if 100 plus you get, then it's something where you have to work little less, but the amount of output and reward is much more as compared to other GS paper. So let us begin by reading the syllabus and then we'll move forward with the syllabus content and how we can define them. It's more a brainstorming. Ethics is more about the brainstorming rather than going for the content. If you know what does this paper demand, then if you brainstorm from today, then you will be able to brainstorm in the ethics paper and you will be able to write much more better answers because it is something that you cannot read and write. It is something where you have to use your mind that in a present situation how you will react, or the terms that UPSC is today asking are not something that you read from the book and you write. That is not liked by anyone. It is something they want to know what is your opinion on it. So, if you want to frame your own opinion, you have to keep in mind that the concepts should be clear to you. If concepts are clear, then you will be damn good in writing the answers. So, let us begin with the first line. The line says this paper include questions to test the candidate's attitude, approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life. So what we get that they wanted to know about the integrity, probity in the public life, and their problem solving approach to various issues, conflicts faced while they deal with the society. So it is very important to learn that how you are going to solve the problem. That is much more important. And question will utilize a case study approach to determine these aspects. What is important is that they ask your way of defining the answers, problem solving through a case study. That is much more interesting because there they come to know till what dimensions, origin you can think to solve a problem and how quick you are in the decision making and how inclusive you are. What is important for the case study is to know how inclusive you are in a particular case study. What is your origin of thinking? How many dimensions you covered while giving us solutions? And how much quick you were to solve some immediate problems. Because some problems want immediate response. But that too should be within the law. So let us move to the second bullet, which says ethics and human interface. Essence determines and consequence of ethics. What are the essence? That means what is the importance, determines what thing determine, and what are the consequences, what will be the result of ethics in human actions. Dimensions of ethics, what are the different dimensions of ethics? For example, if you are an ethical person, then how your particular ethics, that this is right or wrong, will impact society, your individual level, your societal level, your national level, international level, and also the very old saying of the dimensions, that is your spelled approach. So if we move to other thing, it's ethics in private and public relationship. It is very important because a person might be different in public and might be different in private. So requires you to have same ethics that you display in your private relation in the public relation. For example, if you are loyal, if you are loyal, then be loyal to your personal relation also and to your nation also. Now, moving to other part is human values. Lesson from the lives and teachings of the great leaders. Let me clear you what do you mean by values. Values are something which we give importance to, something that we give a priority before anything else. For example, for some person, um, dowry is good as a value, but for some, it is not. So values might be important for some families in if they are in the negative terms, but in modern times they may not be valuable. It's simply what you value more. You might be valuing your honesty, but sometimes you have to lie just because you have valued the person's level or his own sense of respect more than the truth. It's simple. We come across many of these dilemmas every day in our life where we have to think from the consequences what will be the most rightest thing. Because in this world, there is nothing perfect. There cannot be something that is always right. We have to always choose between what is right and what is more right. And this should be your approach to case study also. Now we move to other. It's a teaching of great leaders that we have to look, and it is not that a person should teach you. We can teach you some of the great leaders, but if you want to brainstorm, then you have very good your optional. From there, you get many of the thinkers. You can just take some of them, take their values, and then you will have something different from the candidates' normal notes available in the markets. So you have to do something different. Reformers in administrator, role of family in educational institutions. This is the most important thing because it's a simple saying the child is a blank slate. So we will simply say yes, child is a blank slate and it's a family and the education institution which frames them. Now, moving to other line is attitude. Attitude is something how you think about anything. What is your perception or bent of mind towards a particular thing? So, in attitude, what we'll be learning, what is the content, structure, function, its influence relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitude, social influence and persuasion. So, you have to keep some of these words in your mind so that you're able to even use them in your answers. Persuasion, social influence, political attitudes. These are some words, if you use in your answers, it will definitely add some value to it. Now, moving to other thing is aptitude and foundational values for the civil services. So, let me clear you the meaning of the word aptitude. Aptitude is how much potential you have and how much you are interested into something. It's your own talent plus your own work for it. That is your aptitude. It how much grace you have inside you to learn something. In foundational values for the civil services. What could be the foundational values? If you find anywhere the term foundational, it means very basic. That is something that a person should have. For example, if a human life we say roti kapda makan. So these are the foundational things. So like this, what are the foundations? Some values we should never be uh, taught, but these are we should never be touched even because these are the basic. We could not forget them. For example, the first thing could be loyal to your nation, no matter what comes. You cannot leave the loyalty in any. So some of the foundation value you can take is integrity. That means you're always honest, impartial. You have to impartial because impartial is the most important thing. It's something that you cannot even think that you can be partial somewhere. Being partial means you are not fair to the society. Then you have to go to the non-partisanship that is almost same. Just a minute. That is almost same like your Impartiality. Objectivity, dedication to the public services. Objective means you're being fair, you're dedicated to the public services, empathy, tolerance, compassion towards the weaker section. That is very much important. And even this thing you will learn in the Gandhi's talisman also. Now, the most important thing in today's world for the civil servant is about this thing only, which means emotional intelligence. This is something that you should always keep in mind because you will always be in a situation where you have to think from the perspective of people's emotion. But if you bend down to the emotion, then the decision might not be rightest one. I won't say wrong because there is nothing wrong. It might not be the rightest. So, what is the most important quality in today's challenging world for the civil services or anyone is to be emotionally intelligent. You should know how to manage your own emotion, the person or society where you are working their emotion, and then you should just take a decision by balancing them, not going with the emotions. So, how you can utilize in their application in the administration and governance. Now we'll learn about the contribution of moral thinkers, philosophers from India and world. This is something you can also search yourself, or we'll have a small session on this. Then, public service, civil service values, ethics in public administration. It simply means what is the values importance in public administration, what are the status, problems, ethical concerns, and dilemma? The most important thing is dilemma. In the government, private institutions, what are the laws, rules, regulation, consign? The consign word is something which will always help you take a decision, which will be almost 99% will be right. Is there is a saying that person always know what to do. Person's inner voice always tell them what is right, what is wrong. It's just the outer voice or the voice of our head which just can destroy this inner voice. So, inner voice is very important. We should listen always to this. These are the sources. Your laws, rules, regulation, consigns are simply the sources of your ethical guidance, accountability, how much you are answerable to a particular thing, ethical governance, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance, ethical issues in IR, funding, corporate governance. These are something that is more like factual, but we can add some more value to it, more ethical dimension to it. For example, ethical issues in international relation, if we think it could be the climate change, because ultimately the developed countries will not face much because they are in the upper part of the world. But what will be the problem will be for the small nations, islands, which will ultimately face the threat and the impact of the climate change. Now comes your probity. Probity in the governance concept. We will learn what is the meaning of probity, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing, transparency in the government. Now, here also dilemma can come. Sometimes information sharing is very good, but sometimes some information cannot be shared. So, this is also a very big dilemma for the civil servants. Right to information, RTI, that you must have learned in your polity, also a paper 2, code of ethics, code of conduct, citizen charter, work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruption. And then we move to the last part of this, that is a case study on the above issues. This we will not be framing any new kind of case study. We will be just discussing the previous year question paper on it. If we'll discuss just 10 case studies also, then you will be having in your mind what to do. And what you can do, the one who are watching these lectures will give us a brief introduction how they will write in particular case study, and we could just give you the feedbacks. Thank you for listening to us. This is a syllabus that you should always keep in mind while framing your own strategies for the preparation. And once again, the main basic for this lectures are to make you work harder but also smarter. And be inclined to UPSC, but only to a level where you know that you can just consider something as plan B also. It's very important because we'll discuss this in the coming session. But yeah, this is your syllabus. And whenever you do any kind of study, just remember what the syllabus is. Don't go apart from this to any term, anything. No. If you want to do more R&D, just do on all these things only, not anything else. Thank you.